junior private detectives, Neptune pirates, formerly gang members but now turned priests, and all of the black characters to Life on Mars, the Veronica Mars rewatch podcast where we go through episode by episode. I'm Brenton.
And I'm Emily.
And we're here to discuss Season 2, Episode 12, Richard and Wallace Go to White Castle. Much like Harold and Kumar went to White Castle. Remember that? Did you ever see that movie?
I mean, I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a funny stoner movie at the time, and I doubt it's held up. Actually, in college, in my it was a minority English class. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Asian American Literature.
Yeah. You took Asian American Literature?
I did.
For some reason, I remember everyone complaining about that class.
Oh, I could see why. I loved the professor. So I took it with Doug, and Doug and I had the best time in that class. And it was a lot of reading, of course, because it's all literature. But she gave zero fucks about just like picking people out of the class to like read or like comment on a passage. If no one was like talking at all, she'd just go, "Okay, all right, let's see, you in the back." And then like when they don't talk, it's like, "No, you in the black shirt." Like it would literally like call specific people out, and everybody in the class would be like, "Oh," and then me and Doug would be like cracking up in our seats, just like. So we had the best time.
Did you ever get picked?
I don't think I did actually. And we usually like we were not hiding. We were never like in the way back. We were usually up in the front.
That's probably why she didn't pick you.
Yeah, probably.
You looked engaged.
Yeah, probably. But long story short, in that class, she used Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle at one point as like a representation of Asian Americans in film.
Interesting.
Yeah, the rest of it was, I mean, literature, but I think that was like, oh, this is like an easy way to like tie people in, and we like watched it for whatever the hour 15 we were in there.
Yeah, I feel like when everyone talked about it, a guy had taught it. So I don't know if there were two different professors or you know what. But I feel like I remember people complaining about.
No, yeah, she was great. I really liked that class. And we read one that had accompanied drawings. Damn it. I'm really blanking on the book right now. That was all about the World War II concentration camps of Asian Americans.
Yeah. Not a good look, America.
No, but
it's almost like we've done this before.
Right. And we'll, we're doing it now. But yeah, great class. But this was a good episode.
Yes.
No other transitions available.
I did. I loved that they went to a party at a black fraternity, and Veronica didn't go in.
Right.
And I was like, I mean, sure you would quote unquote stand out, but like
you can just go in.
Yeah, you're a girl.
Right.
That's how frats work. I mean, someone might yell snow, but like you'll be okay.
Right.
I thought that was funny, but I know they're trying to keep like a low profile.
Yeah, but like it seemed like she was intent on going in until then.
Yes, it was like, oh shit.
Because it's like she was walking in with him.
Yeah. That was quite entertaining to me.
Yeah,
so I was like,
totally.
All the best, like the frat parties I had the most fun at were multicultural frats. They weren't like the regular ones, for lack of a
Greek
better
system, right?
Well, they're all the Greek system.
Oh, okay.
So it's just
Pan-Hellenic.
No, that's the girls.
Damn
that's
it.
sororities.
So
IFC, I believe, is the guy one.
Oh, okay. IFC?
Yeah, I think it's IFC.
Oh, okay. Independent Film Channel.
Exactly. And I don't know. And it was something about something fraternity council, you know?
Right. International?
Maybe.
Independent.
Probably.
Incorrigible.
Exactly, because they were all white boys.
What do you mean? I'm so surprised.
But yeah, my big and she had some friends in some of the multicultural frats, and we would go over to them because they had their own, like, instead of living where I mean, UCSB is kind of set up funky, so the frats weren't like all right next to each other, but they were all pretty close. And these were kind of deeper into Ivy, closer to like a Pi Phi or like the 6-8 block.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun at those parties because no one was trying to. There's something about like the stereotypical frat boy that is just like, it's so much and it's so aggressive, and like people that join an organization based on like culture or based on academics or based on something besides being a dude,
right?
They tend to be better people.
Totally. And even
you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, we want to represent our culture or our academic status or how hard we've worked to get here, versus like the generic frats that are like, I am boy, my father did this and my father's father did this and my great grandfather was the first ever beta apple pie.
But they come in acting a certain way. I remember freshman year that you knew the specific people that were gonna like rush because they acted like it when they came to college.
Yeah, some people are born a frat boy.
I was born a frat boy,
and that's coming from someone who joined the Greek system. But I digress.
Yeah.
But it's a little different in sororities because we're not allowed to talk about the things that you do. You rush based on principles and then you start partying, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. And you weren't allowed to talk about partying.
Right.
The B's, booze, boys, Barack for politics.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and now we can use Biden. It's perfect.
Oh God, I can only
brands and something else. But yeah.
What about Bran?
Bran from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Or like Bran Flakes?
Both.
Raisin Bran?
Yeah.
Yes, there was nothing against breakfast cereals.
Okay.
Bran from Game of Thrones.
He teetered because he's technically a boy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But I remember rushing a girl, and she was like, she was a junior transfer, and I was, you interview them basically, for lack of a better word. And she's like, I know we're not supposed to talk about parties, but and I'm really glad about that because I don't party and I don't go out. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's some girls in the house that don't go out. But I don't think this organization in general is going to be good for you.
Listen, we say this, but we do.
I know 3 girls that probably didn't get drunk before we weren't allowed to drink anymore.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it was always quite, because I always felt bad because I'm like, this is just false advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I will be on a table when you see me next. But what do I know?
Yeah, no, I never understood that. It's like, call a spade a spade.
Yeah, just, or yeah, we don't have a political affiliation, but here's mine.
Right. I just didn't, and also,
you don't have to make yourself vanilla to make people like you. I guess that's a big thing. It's it removes the authenticity.
Yeah, there you go. Because you have to try and be
as generic as everyone else.
Yeah.
So then it's what's the point of joining a group of people who don't have personalities and then finding out that you don't like any of their personalities because they all fucking suck because some of them don't have personalities. Or some of them have personalities and those aren't good either.
Yeah, that's a rough time.
But Wallace isn't rushing any frats that we know of. So.
No, and I want to stick up for vanilla ice cream. It's solid base. We call things vanilla, but vanilla's good.
Well, yeah, but you put some sprinkles, a little chocolate chips in it. Vanilla's good because you can build on it.
I guess so, but I like vanilla for who it is.
Well,
Yeah.
You can take the boy out of the fraternity, but you can't take the fraternity out of the boy.
Excuse me, let me slip off my boat shoes.
Oh my God, and your chubbies?
Exactly, yeah, and I'll put on some slightly baggier shorts.
Oh God, you wouldn't wear chubbies, would you?
No, should I turn my collar down, or is it okay up?
Well, I don't know, Kyle. Are you wearing your sunglasses inside?
Yes, but I can set these down.
Okay, and are your tips frosted? What year are we in? But yeah, so we open this episode at a cafe.
Picture this.
Which by the way, it is Golden Girls Day,
Oh yeah.
Celebrate if you haven't already. This is gonna come up much later than when the day was, a week later, give or take. But Golden Girls Day was last Thursday for all of you listening. It's an important holiday. Eat some cheesecake.
And celebrate the Blanches, the Dorothys, the Sophias, and the Roses in your life.
What are you?
Dorothy.
And what am I?
You are a Sophia.
For sure. For sure. Right down to even the woman who played her, and she was like, "You made me too long of a line." But okay, so Wallace and Veronica are in Veronica's work, and she's like, "Wallace, my boss made this triple chocolate orgasm cake or whatever because she said it's better after a breakup." Wasn't
called
it
a nutgasm? Thank you very much. We keep it punny, not just sex for sex.
Well, I was naming it like lipstick. Lipsticks are always named the most, like it's like orgasm or like sex on the ceiling or like weird shit where you're like, okay.
I think you'd look good in a clitoris.
Clitoris.
Because you gotta like make it sound different.
No, it'd just be clitoris.
Have you tried vagine?
Oh my god. It's like that penis game they play in 500 Days of Summer.
Where you yell penis.
Samantha and I used to do that. My best friend and I would do that in junior high a lot.
I know kids that did, and they'd be like, "You want to play a penis game?" It's like, no, thank you.
What was it like being shy?
It's quiet. Awkward.
Samantha's like, "I'm going to do it anyway. Penis!" She started at 10.
Honestly, the best thing that happened for shy people was smartphones. You have something to do when it's awkward. Or when you're like waiting around. God, especially as a shy person showing up early to an appointment, it's just like, well, what am I going to do? Just sit in my car for like 15 minutes?
You don't just carry a book?
Back to the episode.
Carries book everywhere. Forgets wallet, carries book. Take it on dates. I take it everywhere.
Can I pay for this in Harry Potter?
Let me read to you. Let me give you the gift of literature.
I've got a passage for you.
First Potter 4:4. I'm gonna start numbering it like a Bible.
And yea, he said, Wingardium Leviosa.
But so Veronica's like, here, eat this cake. You're implicating Richard, and that's gonna be some big shit. So like that shit's not gonna be good for you. And he's like, I don't think the cake's gonna fix it. And she's like, yes, it will. And I was like, yes, it will. Chocolate fixes everything.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that from Harry Potter. Have you ever met a situation you're like, chocolate wouldn't help? Except for when I've eaten too much chocolate.
Yeah. Only on the other end.
Yeah, too much of a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always say.
But yeah, but no news is good news. It's been quiet since Wallace turned Richard in and gave his testimony.
Or spoke to a reporter.
Yeah, well, whatever. Was it a reporter or was it an investigator?
Reporter.
It was an investigator.
No.
Reporter.
It was the reporter is the one that tracked him down. So then that's when Uncle Monty later is just like, I have that reporter on speed dial when he's listing everybody in his phone.
I thought it was the reporter that they use, that Richard goes on in the news saying that it was Wallace driving. He got the other boys to say that as well.
Yeah, but that's I think it's the same reporter because he probably went to them for a statement.
Got it. That's not how I interpreted it. I thought that guy was an investigator.
Oh, gotcha.
So then we cut over to Keith. He's going to the sheriff's station.
Yep.
And he's like, Inga, how you doing? I need all these files because I'm being audited. But really, what he's doing is sneaking behind her desk to make himself a key card so that then he can go steal the tapes from the bus crash. So he does that.
Yeah, because he wants the witness testimonies.
And he does my favorite thing in Spy World, which is putting it in a book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then has the old convos on recorded so that he can listen to the convos and figure out what he's supposed to be doing.
Yes, yeah. So he can figure out how to get into Inga's desk and then into the security room. And by old convos, we mean the ones with Leo and all of that when Leo was talking about security.
Right. And Deputy, who I forget his name.
Deputy Mr. Really Dumb.
Yes. Like
kind of pointless character, but like fill in space.
Yes, is the right-hand man to Lamb.
So he steals the tapes. And then Wallace is at school. And he's like, still no word about ratting Richard out.
Yeah, I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I wish, like Richard's a good guy, like blah blah blah, and Veronica's like, I don't know.
Probably not.
You're judge a character, Wally. It's not great. I mean, you befriended me, and
that's all then you need. Is
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
example.
And then we cut over to Weevil.
Yeah.
He's going to bother our friend Molly Fitzpatrick, who's eating lunch alone.
Yep.
Seems like there's a lot of loners at this school.
There is.
Are there a lot of loners in general? I always felt like
There are dozens of them.
I always felt like I was like a floater, you know what I mean? But I never felt like a loner.
Couldn't tell you, because loners don't hang out with other loners, so then you probably don't get a good count. And you're not just like sitting there like there's a loner, there's a loner, there's a loner.
You didn't watch people and see what they were doing during your lunch?
I didn't count loners.
I mean, it's not like that was the intention, but it's like, oh, that person's sitting by themselves. Should I go talk to them?
Oh. Important things to do at my table.
Oh, did you? Are you running very important meetings?
Yes.
Like what? What were you doing at lunchtime in high school?
Let's see. Freshman year, we were either going to Parker's house, or I don't know, talking about video games and things. Probably. I think one of those years Iron Man came out, and I was excited about that. It was probably sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking about nerd stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I joined a couple different lunchtime clubs at different points, but for the most part, I like hung out with friends or like left campus or went to lunch with different people every day.
Yeah, that was junior and senior year, was leaving campus every day.
Or sometimes I'd go sit in the library just because now I know it's because I absorb a lot of energy from other people, but sometimes I just started to feel really overwhelmed by being around people.
Interesting.
And so I'd go sit quietly in the library by myself because there is nothing like the library.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, because you can go play on a computer, you could just like read a book, or you could just like sit there quietly, which is what I did.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight, I'm like, I don't meditate. I was meditating. That's what I was doing. I was sitting there not thinking, not existing.
Enjoying the books.
Some teachers would like leave their classrooms open for kids to sit in, so I'd go sit in different teachers' classrooms and like do things.
Gotcha.
Like homework, because I didn't want to do my homework after school. I'd do it during school.
Right, get it done.
I literally would do my homework in class.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I was like, okay, just gonna talk about it. Like, I got shit to do.
Right.
I have a job and I have dance class. I don't have time for your tomfoolery. I need you to give me my assignment.
I'll do my project and go.
But yeah, anyway, I was just curious. So Weevil comes up to Molly and he's like, were you dating Felix? And she was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I saw the tattoo Felix was going to get of you, and I assume it wasn't going to be on his forehead. And I was like, well, just in general, I make that assumption. I'm no bike gang member.
No, but most tattoos of significant others are not on the forehead.
Where would you put a tattoo of me?
Right on the right shoulder, like a classy man.
Oh, really? What would you get? Like just my face or like my name?
It'd be a portrait with your name underneath.
What would I be wearing?
It'd be like your face.
Oh, just my face.
Yeah.
Like wings, like a wedding dress,
Oh,
like like how
sure,
like I didn't know what I was looking like.
It would be an angel portrait with your hands at your sides with the wings, and yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'd put your face on my butt.
Cool. Would it be smiling? Would it be upset?
Well, I might try to design it in a way where I could change your facial feature depending on my activities.
Oh God. Be throwing up when you're pooping.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
It'll be beautiful. No, I wouldn't tattoo your face on my butt.
Wish you would.
You wish I would?
Yes.
I don't believe you. I think you'd be really bothered by that.
Be a little weird.
I don't believe you'd like that.
Well, try calling my bluff. We'll see what happens.
No, thank you. But so then she finally was like, yeah, we were dating. What about it? And my family doesn't know about it. And she's like, was Felix selling drugs for your family? And she's like, if you think that, then you didn't know Felix at all. And I'm like, Felix was a man of character.
He's a saint.
He was a good guy.
Mr. Toombs.
I was going to say Toombs Jr., but it was his older brother. So it's just Mr. Toombs.
Nope.
And so
Your Honor.
He's like, how did you even meet Felix? And he's like, at church, St. Mary's. And he's like, Weevil's like, yeah, the only place where the Fitzpatricks and the PCHers running.
Pretty much like just white Mexican people.
Yep. Well, the Irish and the Mexican, I think,
Oh,
specifically.
Yeah.
Were like are at where they don't fight, and she's like, "Yep, my uncle's the priest there." And she's like, "We got 12 hoodlums and one priest," and they repeat that throughout the episode.
Right, 12 hoodlums,
one priest. And I was like,
what kind of crazy hijinks they gonna get into?
Like, what ratio is this?
Right, exactly. How does this family break down? How many kids are there?
And then we cut to Wallace getting a phone call from his father.
Ring, ring, ring.
He's like, Richard and the other kid said you were driving. They put it in the newspaper.
Uh-huh.
Like, you shouldn't have said anything. And I'm like, isn't your dad a fucking cop?
Yeah.
What kind of justice is this?
Uh-huh. Bad. Well, there you go. There's your first lesson.
And so...
Don't trust cops.
Yeah, so then Veronica's talking to Wallace about it. And he's like, I'm sure Richard wouldn't blame me. It's his uncle. His uncle Monty's like, running his career. And Richard's like basketball player, gonna like get a scholarship.
The next LeBron James.
And so then...
it just makes me realize how long he really has been in the league.
And then...
Richard.
Yeah, Richard?
Yeah, not LeBron.
Okay, I didn't think so. And Veronica's like, yeah, but like, jail.
Yeah.
You
it's
don't
like you're
go
going to go
to
to jail for manslaughter.
Yeah. And so then Jackie comes up and she's like, what are we talking about? And Veronica's like, jail.
Yeah. Oh, you're still here. You go here?
Yeah. And
where have you been?
Jackie's like, hey, Wallace, I tried to reach out to you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I'm busy.
Yeah. I think Jackie went to the Milford Academy. Is that why we couldn't see her?
Oh, maybe you can never spot a Milford man. That's how you spot a Milford man.
Uh-huh. She's just disappeared in the back. Or what if she's just in the background of a bunch of shots?
And we just didn't notice?
Uh-huh.
She's like, yeah, we should all three hang out. And Wallace is like, and Veronica's like, that's not cool, man. But doesn't say anything.
Right.
And then he's like, you two can, but I'm busy. And Veronica's like, what the fuck?
Right. And weird answer.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say, I can't, I'm busy.
And
you two famous friends, why don't you go have a good time?
He's like, yeah, I don't need to like get mixed up with all that. I need to get like a lawyer. And he's like, do you know any? And she's like, a good lawyer. And she's like, I know a lawyer. And then we cut to a scene with our BFF Cliff. Oh God. He's gonna die on us. And Cliff is like, like, I'm gonna give you some advice here. Like, you might just want to like turn yourself in, or like,
what do you call it? It's like voluntary something.
Yeah. He's like, cause if not, you could face a really strong trial, or like you have 7 days to turn yourself in, or they'll come get you. And so Cliff leaves. And Wallace goes, Veronica, you got to figure this out. We got 7 days. And I got a basketball game.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, of course.
He's back with the Pirates.
Of course.
That's the main thing. But I get it. He's trying not to think about it. He's like, this is going to get solved. And then I'm going to be everything's going to be back to normal. I'm going to be playing basketball.
Well, but he's already playing basketball. I think in theory, the basketball game's before the time lines up.
Gotcha.
Like we have like a day after that.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she's like, yeah, I think I've got an idea. I think if we go to the booster dinner at UCLA, because they're trying to recruit Richard, then we can chat with him and figure this all out.
Yeah. No, that's nice idea, sure, but no. Yeah. And she'd gotten in contact with people at the sorority at UCLA, at some sorority, not the sorority.
To find out he was coming.
The only sorority. Right.
The UCLA Bruins.
Exactly. Just like the Ohio State.
And then
she was just talking about it like, yeah, you'll sneak in with all the hanger-ons.
Yeah, everyone wants to get in on that.
Why don't just wait till he gets here? He's a high schooler, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
Just trying to get on the ground floor, I guess.
So then Wally leaves and Keith goes, Veronica, dig up the Murray file and destroy it. And she's like, why? And he's like, they got back together. And apparently it was a couple where he was cheating. And she was like, yeah, it would take $1 million ring for me to, whatever. And so she's shredding all the photos and she's looking at them as she shreds them because, you got to see.
Right, yeah.
And she's like,
remember the good times taking the photos.
Dad. And Keith is like, I don't want to look at these photos again. Like, there's one where you can see his boner or something like that. Like, they insinuate a dick thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's Terrence Cook and Mrs. Dumont, the journalism teacher, in the photo, in the Murray file. And I do love that she said Mrs. Dumont or Ms. Dumont, the journalism teacher, because if not, I wouldn't have fucking known who that was.
No.
I couldn't remember.
But I don't think we even know who she is or what she looks like. Or
yeah, we did, because she was part of
first
organizing the bus.
Yeah, never mind.
And she's like, Dad, this is probably not going to help you trust me more, but during the election, I did a thing you probably wouldn't like, and I bugged Lamb, and now listen to this audio file.
And the audio file she's talking about is the where he's like hanging over the debts over Terrence Cook, right?
Yes. Terrence Cook owes a lot of money to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Important people.
Uh-huh. I mean, you can't have a black sports star without them having gambling issues.
No, but it would totally, completely remove this false narrative of like how, oh God, just a racism, the layers.
Mm-hmm.
The layers. Anyway, so then we cut over to Logan and Weevil. They're having a little date day at their hotel room. Well,
date day.
I feel like it's their hotel room now because Duncan's gone.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, do you think Weevil spends the night?
No, he said, well, yeah, sometimes when they gotta like work late into the evening to really like hash it out, they're just hanging out there together.
Yeah. So while they're talking, Logan is playing a video game, which
Hot shots.
I would have unplugged the moment I walked into the room because
Weevil's a semi-patient man.
Yeah, Weevil's significantly more patient than I am. I'm like, look at me, eye contact. Okay. Are you looking at me?
Right. We got to figure out so you don't go to jail, and I can figure out who's the rat.
And so they discuss exactly that and how Weevil unplugs the game when Logan's not listening, and they once again repeat the 12 hoodlums, 1 priest.
12
but
hoodlums?
That priest, before he was a priest,
was a hoodlum.
Was a 13th hoodlum. Oh my God, it's just like Jesus.
Yes, with his apostles.
Oh my God.
One shall betray you all and join the cloth.
My grandpa always said 13 was a lucky number. And my family's wildly superstitious. If my grandmother wasn't superstitious about something, my grandfather was. It was like they filled in each other's gaps. Like ladders, don't fucking walk under that. Black cats, we liked those, but like...
Right.
We knew there was something
Be
up
wary.
with us. Well, I mean, you've met us. Like, they're just our familiars.
That's true.
My whole family's just a bunch of fucking witches.
Tip to tail.
Tip to tail. Whiskers to tail. But...
So I feel, there's something there. There's a reason it's not called a group of 13. It's Jesus and 12 apostles. There's no mention of them being a group of 13 men.
I was watching a TikTok and because they weren't men. Most of the apostles were younger than Jesus. They were boys.
Oh, lads.
So it's like
lads.
a 30-year-old man and his like teenage friends.
Oh, boy.
It's like the pup named Scooby-Doo.
Exactly.
From what I saw a TikTok about this the other day, because I never thought about the age of like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I don't fucking know. Like, and the rest of them too.
Luke was not an apostle.
Was he not an apostle? He just wrote about it later?
I think so. Weren't most of them not apostles?
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
My Jesus history is...
You're usually much better.
Peter,
I
Paul,
read it in Jesus,
Mary.
a history. Peter, Paul, Mary.
Yeah. But, yeah. 12 hoodlums, 1 priest. Oh, but the TikTok was...
I was going to ask him, like... wait.
The TikTok was about the age gap and how, like, it was, like, Jesus, like a 30-year-old guy and these, like, younger kids or, like, 18, 20-year-old people that were like, yeah, we're going to change things. And the Pharisees and shit were all pissed and, like, talking smack. And Jesus would be like, "Pacha, look at me and my beautiful phrased thing." And how it was always...
hat.
Yeah, it was always just, like, a battle of wit. Until they nailed him to the cross.
Well, yeah, then who won?
Oh, God.
The Romans.
The Romans.
No, humanity.
Sometimes I think it's funny to think about Christians because I'm like, y'all would have stuck Jesus. You'd stick Jesus to the cross if he was alive now.
Yeah,
like
totally.
you didn't learn from this.
No.
What's the point? Why did you bother?
Why did Jesus take the L if you weren't going to listen?
Why did Jesus take the L? This isn't a game of basketball.
I mean, he had to.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things that confuses me. I've met a lot of very contradictory Christians.
Aha, CCs.
Yeah, that's what I like to call them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say. I say, you damn CCs, you.
Or Catholics, but I mean, it's the same shit, different version.
Right. Still the same letter.
Yeah.
So it works.
It works. And I mean, like, what is Catholicism except Christianity without any of the fluff?
Exactly. Without the basketball courts and the skateboard ramps, in my experience.
Would you like to hate yourself? Then please
Exactly.
go to Catholicism.
No, we got guitars and stuff at this church. It's cool. He's not. He's married, but he leads the church.
Yeah.
He's got a family. They're all here somewhere.
And then we're like, no, priest, you can't get married. Ooh, what's that? You're doing inappropriate things with children?
Right.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or the pressure of, ooh, you like men? Well, have you thought about being a priest?
Yeah. Oh, it's a dark religion, guys.
It is.
I mean, if you're out there and you're Catholic, you like it, you keep doing it. But like, if you don't, there's other options. Wicca.
Join them. Yeah. Just no hexing moon, people.
Oh God, don't fuck with the Fae, guys. But anyway, so they decide they need to go over to the Catholic Church so that Logan can see it. Because wasn't it that the whole thing where there's like, how do you pass things around the Catholic Church?
Yeah, it's like, so they're like trying to figure out how to like
how the priest is giving out drugs or whatever, just the communion wafers or cocaine.
Exactly, yeah.
And
so then they slip it under their tongue.
Oh God! So they sneak out, but some man is watching them down the hallway.
Yeah, because Weevil leaves, and he sees Weevil leave, and he's like,
Yes.
It didn't look like he worked there, but apparently later they said his work there, and I'm like, it looks like he's like in regular like clothes, like tailing him.
Maybe it was like his off hours.
Oh, I see, and saw him earlier come into the lobby.
Yeah, and he was like,
he's
you know what?
He's been here for like 2 days.
Yeah. There's a secret love affair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, I know.
Why wasn't that a thing?
I mean, that's why they go to the cafe and sit in separate booths and stare the same way.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
It's like, oh, Veronica works here. We were actually just out on our date.
So as a guy, when you went to the movies with your friends and there were a bunch of empty seats, did you sit next to each other or did you leave a gap?
We sat next to each other for the most part. We sat next to each other, but I think I remember us for Twilight New Moon when there was like, we had like 8 of us. There was no one in the theaters, so we just like spread out as far as possible.
Why?
I don't know, because we could. Because it's an empty theater, and it was like, look at what we can do.
Oh my God. I used to go to the movies with these guys I worked with, and they wouldn't sit next to each other. Like, they would leave a gap, or like a girl had to sit between them. And I'm like, are you like, can you not hold yourself back from each other? Like, what are you so afraid of?
I know. How am I supposed to hold my bud's hand?
Yeah. Like holding everyone's hand. You gotta. It's
scary.
It's
gonna be scary.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. No. Speed Racer's gonna get out of this, guys.
Don't worry. Yeah, I always thought that was weird, and so then I'm like, I want to litmus check this with any boy I know. Is this strange?
Just no touching knees.
Why?
I don't know.
You can't cuddle?
No cuddling.
You don't cuddle? That's not true. You've had friends kiss you.
Yes.
But you know, we don't ask questions.
Mm-hmm. Just not in the theater.
True. I guess that would be weird.
No. Oh God, he's putting his arm around me.
Want to watch the fireworks display?
He's expecting something.
He's got his hand on my thigh.
Yeah, maybe he just won't. Oh, he's coming in. Oh boy.
God. Oh God. Imagine if guys had to tolerate the amount of shit girls tolerate when they're like on a date. We can I grab your hand? Oh no, you're gonna try to grab mine, but it's gonna take you an hour to work your way from like touching my arm on the armrest to getting to my hand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll just.
Oh shit.
I'll just keep my hand out here waiting, even though my arm's asleep.
We appreciate the training wheels.
Oh, God. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, you don't want to I remember one guy at the movies was like, oh, don't you want to snuggle with me? And I'm like, there's a fucking armrest. Like, no. I don't want to lean against you. There's a fucking armrest.
And then I have to snuggle with the soda.
Well, or like in my ribs. Like, that's not comfortable. I'm like, can't you just hold my hand like a normal person?
I'm trying to watch the film.
We're at a movie, sir.
I come here and I spend my $10 to see the cinema.
Well, I didn't spend my $10.
Right, yeah. The nickel.
You spend your $10 for me to see the cinema.
And you'd be thankful that you don't have to sit next to your friend.
Different guys, but I like it. The ones that wouldn't sit next to each other were just my friends. They're just weirdos. Yeah. But okay. Anyway, back to out of my weird history with men in movie theaters and into a more comfortable scenario.
Perfect. Yeah.
Richard is at his banquet with UCLA where they're like, and they have these girls that are like, "Ooh, we bet the parties wherever you are." Like, and I'm like, "No, I'm just like
we wore matching clothes." Yeah,
we're they must be on like the dance team or something. Like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what the outfits are supposed to do.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just like plain clothes.
Yeah, but like sparkly, like weird.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was also 2004.
Yeah.
So that's probably normal.
Yeah.
And so, Veronica hired a limo to pick up Richard. And take him to go talk to Wally.
Right. Or at least jumps in the limo.
So they take, they call Richard over to his car, and he gets in his car, and in his limo, and he brings the girls with him, but he leaves Uncle Monty.
Well, he's not with Uncle Monty.
But Uncle Monty's there.
Yeah. Tracks him down.
So Richard sneaks off, and then a semi-truck pulls out in front of them, so they have to stop, and Uncle Monty jumps in the car and kicks the girls out and calls them leeches, which I think is fucked up.
He's not a nice man.
He's not a nice man. And he's like, you can have your fun, but like, like be careful.
Right. This is what happens because, months later when you're getting a divorce, there goes all your deals.
Yeah. Also, he's like, yeah, and there goes your shoe deal. And I'm like, what is that? Like, why does it matter who you date?
Yeah, there's a real stupid macho thing, especially with sports, that it's just like, girls are a distraction.
Yeah, that's fun. Have fun dying alone.
Right. Maybe it wouldn't be as much a distraction if you didn't make so much of a big deal out of it.
Or maybe you could just like accept human compassion as for what it is instead of thinking that people want something from you.
Totally.
And or be a good person.
Yeah.
That's my...
Let him make his own decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also a teenager. Right. I'm like, there's a lot of hormones in there.
Just right rumping around.
Is that what your hormones did? Did they rump around?
Exactly. Yeah, I had bad gas for like the entire time.
Did you really?
Probably.
You have really bad acid reflux. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had it since like I was 12 years old. Yep, my stomach hurt me.
You've had acid reflux since you were 12?
Yeah, I remember getting it young.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I didn't get it until I started drinking a lot of red wine.
Oh, well. Some of us just our favorite drink. Tore us down.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have as much acid as you though did either. Like,
yeah, I had bad stomach problems for a while.
Gotta get your tummy all balanced out.
Exactly. It's those hormones.
Yeah, it's definitely not your diet.
No.
Were you only eating pizza and lemonade?
Exactly, and red meat.
Oh, your red meat farts were... I'm so glad I've weaned you off red meat because they were nothing appropriate.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
They weren't good. They're never good.
No, I don't get it on the fake meat.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's not good.
Yeah, it's just good overall. Not to be eating red meat.
Yeah, I mean, like if you can quit red meat, I highly recommend it. But back to our friends. So Veronica calls Wallace and she's like, "Hey, we have a problem."
Yeah. But
Wallace didn't answer. And so then we get there and they pull up and Wallace goes to knock on the window and Uncle Monty's in the car. And Veronica's like, "I tried to tell you." And then Uncle Monty yells at the limo driver because they kidnapped him.
Yeah. I mean, fair.
And then Veronica's like, "Yeah, sorry, this didn't work out, but like I'm late for work and I'm hungry. Like, let's go through a drive-through." And Wallace is like, "Drive-through?" And he's like, "We went to White Castle after the party before we before we hit the homeless guy. So the worker will be able to tell me or like give testimony that I wasn't driving.
Mm-hmm.
And there might even be a video. And so Veronica's like, cool, but like now I'm going to go eat and go to work. And she gets there and some random man is there. Did you look up who it was?
Yeah, I looked it up. So it's the lead singer for the band Spoon. And they used a lot of Spoon songs in the show.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you not know Spoon?
No.
Yeah, they're alt rock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I equate alt rock and Christian rock into the same box. Is that weird?
A little bit.
But so Veronica gets to work and we get a cameo from a man in a band called Spoons.
Who sings Veronica.
He sings a song called Veronica. And Veronica is like, oh, it's weird that it's crammed in here. It's karaoke night. And Weevil's sitting over at a table. So she comes up and she's like, hi, what can I get for you? Taking his order. And he's like, I need a favor. And she's like, oh, that's our house specialty. I love the whole work pun thing.
Yes.
And he's like, we need you to bug a confessional. And she's like, we? And then she's like, oh, are you with him? And Logan's sitting one table away facing the other way. And they're like, we can't be seen together. And she's like, so this is what you call sneaking?
Right. And it's amazing that they're both just like slightly away from each other, but like sitting in the same direction, like no like newspapers or anything. It's just like gonna cover my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who's not gonna see you?
But they're not together.
Right. Quote unquote.
And so
it's like, isn't it weird that like Weevil and Logan both showed up here by themselves and are just sitting like really close?
Well, Weevil just needs a coffee. It's hard to be out that late riding your motorcycle. And Logan's just fucking,
He's got nothing else to do.
Yeah, like what else is he doing?
Right. Dick's not around.
Duncan's left.
Yeah, Duncan's gone.
Forever. And she's like, oh, can you, he's like, he also asked her about Duncan. And she's like, can't help you find him.
Right. And he's not just going to hang out with Beaver by himself. So, yeah, he doesn't really have very many friends.
Nobody does. It's really sad. Poor Cassidy.
Yeah, no.
And so Logan's like, Veronica, can't you just save my ass for once without the commentary? And she's like, no.
Yeah, I love the beat that they add there where it's this extended time of like, you think she's just going to let it go. Like, and then she goes, no.
Yeah. She's like, well, then what do I get?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's right, bitch. That's
fantastic. Right. Yeah. Great moment.
Same. Love her. But she agrees to bug a confessional video, no sound.
Uh-huh. Right. Whatever that stipulation might be.
We cut back over to Keith, who's sitting at home listening to the testimonies of the different people.
He's just got his nice unwinding tapes.
Yeah, he's just listening to, on his Walkman, to all of the tapes of all of the testimonies. Do you think they still use cassette tapes when they record things at police stations? If you work at one, please let us know.
Interesting. Yeah, please let us know.
I would love to know where you can get a cassette.
Right. Yeah, if you listen to last episode.
And so he listens in. Dick's like talking to Lamb and he's being interviewed, and they both talk about how Curly Moran's their family mechanic because he's the only one who knows how to work on the Lambo.
Right.
And
then they also talk about how bad it smelled on the bus.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we got off the bus because it stank, so we got a different car.
Mm-hmm. And
so then Veronica comes home and she's like, honey, how was your day? And she's like, it was, weird, but how was your day, Dad? And he's like, dead rat smells bad enough to push anyone who could afford a ride off the bus. So like, maybe this wasn't about you.
Right. Maybe it's a class thing.
It's a class thing. And he's like, pushes the rich kids to safety. Mm-hmm. And she's like, still feel like it's probably about me, but okay.
Right, exactly.
She's
you follow whatever lead you want to, weirdo.
And then we cut over to the high school, and Veronica's still thinking about this process. Like, she's like, because as we watch Dick give some poor kid a wedgie.
Yeah, just in the middle of the hall. Mm-hmm. He just grabs him.
Yeah,
and everybody laughs.
I don't understand how that's appropriate or okay.
No, I never saw anything like that.
No, never saw anything like that at all.
Mm-mm.
Television made me think high schoolers were a lot worse than they were. Honestly, totally. I was a pretty decent person in high school. College students, not so great. But regardless, Wallace is like, hey, that White Castle employee, I went to go find him. He's missing, and he hasn't come in days. Yep. And all the footage from the drive-thru is missing for those 3 days.
Isn't that interesting?
And Veronica's like,
Yep.
So then...
just purchasing hookers.
She leaves to go bug the confessional.
Mm-hmm.
And
Beautiful church, by the way.
it's a gorgeous Catholic church. And she lights a candle, which is my favorite part about going to a Catholic church, which is like Catholicism is literally just like a bunch of pagan practices thrown together.
That's why they
White
stole all the
candles
holidays.
are for protection.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a whole thing. And it's like lighting a candle with intention is just, it's a spell. It's a spell.
That's cool.
It's a little witchcraft for you.
Yeah. A little tip for you all out there.
Yeah, you need a little protection, light a candle.
Yeah, I forgot that we were in that section of the podcast.
A little tip.
Yeah. Which tips?
Which tips? She looks up at the Virgin Mother, who looks very sad at this church. So it must not be a Portuguese Catholic church.
I was gonna say nope. That's the Irish Catholic I know.
Oh, that's so sad. My church wasn't that dark either. It was bright.
No, mine is dark.
What?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right. Sun's for when you haven't sinned. So. No, wait. Yeah. Darkness is to absolve your sins, and then you go out and you go sin again.
You sin in the sun?
Yeah, exactly.
We even like our priest like would do the like bingo nights and stuff like that, which is technically gambling, but like somehow they all got away with it.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't understand.
That's 100%. Yeah, so they would do bingo nights too, but they'd do that in the parish center.
Yeah, and they'd be like, it's for charity because it's for the church, and I'm like, so we can gamble for God?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Gambling for God.
Gambling for God.
My memoir.
Exactly. Father Patrick takes the earnings and he takes it down to Vegas, bets it all on black.
And that's how we got a new parish center.
Exactly. Took all your donations, and we're sorry to say we're going to need more donations because we lost it all.
So she walks into the confessional to bug it, and she goes, I'm going to hell. And the priest is like, hey, confession hasn't started yet, but like, let's chat.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I don't mind like starting early.
But also like, he's not like, oh, you're definitely not a Catholic. Like, I feel like if someone was in a confessional and they didn't start with, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, I'd be like, Yeah,
they would coach you through it.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, have you not been in a while? Like, let's run it through.
My favorite thing was when I'd go to confession. I went to confession, like as a kid, because you got like your confession before your first communion. And then whenever the family went, I went, know. And then I stopped going to church. And then in high school, I was in and out of youth group. So like, I would go to confession. I went to confession, I think, like once, and it was like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I don't know when I went here. Like, I don't know. I wasn't driving yet. Let's put it that way.
I do like the phrase in and out of youth group because that sounds like you were like going and restarting 12-step.
Yeah, no, it's more like, this is a fun place to hang out. Oh, God, they're going to tell me abortion's bad again. I think everyone in that youth group must have thought I was just like fucking anybody who walked by and having abortions because I was always defending.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, literally, I was a virgin for the majority of my time there. Like, it's like, but,
Yeah, human rights, women's rights.
Yeah, you can do what you want with your vag and use a condom. And if you don't, and you want to get an abortion, do it.
It's a long name, lipstick, but works.
Do what you want with your vag.
Exactly.
I can't. Virginity's a construct. Fuck it. And fuck who you want. Just be safe.
Yeah, totally.
But so then she's like, yeah, I'm not a great person. Like, I'll give a little confession here because, I'm here. And she's like, yeah, like when I know people are bad, I try to prove that they're bad and then get them caught. And I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah, fair.
That's fair. And he's like,
maybe not fixating on it.
Yeah, he's like, here's a passage about how we should overcome evil with good.
Right, and he does like I'm not finished. And
yep, because she tries to leave. And then she leaves, and I'm like, this church is fucking massive.
Yeah, beautiful church.
Beautiful church, but like,
Neptune's got money.
I guess so. And then Wallace confronts Richard.
Well, yeah, they head to the
party,
to the frat party.
Yeah, they go to the frat party,
and that's where Veronica excuses herself after she realizes it's not a white fraternity.
Yeah,
and then goes in and tries to talk to Richard, and Richard's pretty much just like, why would you rat me out? Like, no, we're not friends.
Yeah, he's like, I thought we were friends too, but then you did this. And it's
right.
Like,
oh, this is your uncle talking. It's like, no, like I could go to jail and like I'm this far gone already. So like, why would you think this was a good idea? Goodbye.
And he's like, it was an accident. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And Wallace is like, no, the truth is the truth.
Right.
And so then
I want millions of dollars, Wallace. So out of my way.
Yeah. So then Wallace comes up and sees Jackie talking to Richard. And Jackie's flirting with Richard, and he's like, Jackie, you should go. We should go. We should get out of here. And
Yeah,
she's like,
does the let's go.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't have to listen to anything you say, and sasses out on him, which I'm like, I feel good about this.
Totally.
And
Understandable. Like you don't own nothing to Wallace.
And so then Richard gets Wallace put in a closet by two bigger guys in the frat because he's bothering Jackie.
I thought he got put out the door.
I thought it was in the closet.
Oh.
I thought they put him in a closet.
I thought because they were sitting on chairs near there, I thought they were door security.
Oh, I thought they were like
him
locking him in a closet.
No, because he was sitting there before.
Oh, I missed that.
They could also be guarding the closet in case they had like put expensive things in there.
I don't know. I just thought they locked him away.
Yeah, your theory might work better because then he's suddenly at the party again, and I was like, how did he get back in the party?
Yeah. And so Jackie's like, Richard, you know what we should do? We should leave and we should go to a club in LA. And he's like, my uncle told me not to leave. And she's like, oh, should I call and ask him? And I'm like, yes, bitch.
Yep. Great way.
Demasculate him. Make him feel small.
Exactly.
And so then they go to LA. And so then we cut to Wallace at the party, out of the closet, or back in the party if he went out the door.
Pick your poison.
TBD.
Yeah.
And Uncle Monty's there, and he's like, where the fuck is Richard? And he's like, what are you doing here? And Wallace is like, oh, he left with my ex-girlfriend. And he was like, but this, I know where she likes to go. This could be fun. So he tells Uncle Monty where to go, and Veronica and Wallace must beat, or Veronica, I guess, beats.
Yeah, because
Uncle Monty.
Not Wallace.
Jackie and Richard walk out the door, so she knows it's time to go.
Yeah, then Veronica tailed them.
She goes to the club, and Veronica she made a little deal with her friend. Remember our cop friend who was like, hey, you want gold clubs? I'll let you in.
Yeah,
I'm a bouncer.
Would you like to hear his great character name?
Yeah.
Super Huge Deputy.
Oh, God.
Yep,
really?
that's all they have. Yeah.
That's awful.
Absolutely.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's
that's
gross.
Fucked up.
Seriously.
I feel uncomfortable. I mean, most of this is uncomfortable.
Right. The character names on the show are absolutely like phobic across the board.
Yeah.
Like in the One Angry Veronica episode with the juries, it was knitting grandmother, and then the one guy who was like being a dickhead the entire time was called Captain of Industry.
Yeah, just fucking awful.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. You really know your satirical lens.
And so the bouncer swaps Uncle Monty's phone out for a fake phone when Uncle Monty comes into the club to find Richard. So Veronica gets to take the phone.
Yeah.
And then Veronica goes to pick up her recording device I don't know what to call it, like what she used to bug the confessional.
Yeah, recording device, camera.
And she watches the tape and she realizes that it's not the priest distributing the drugs at all. And then she makes
because
Weevil come to school early.
Yeah. The other Fitzpatrick is dropping a Bible with drugs in the confessional
and leaving it for the PCHers to come and pick up. So she shows Weevil, and we realize it's Thumper.
Yep, Thumper portrays Bambi.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
That's what I call Weevil.
Bambi.
Yep, Bambi.
So Thumper's secretly selling drugs, and then we cut over back to Veronica and Wallace, and Jackie comes up and she's like, how did I do?
Yeah.
And
I was like, so many complicated plans within the past few episodes.
Yeah.
They're like really like
bearing the lead.
Yeah, and they're performing heists on a regular basis.
And then Veronica's like, from what I heard, it was ice cold, like you did great. And she's like, yeah, snagging guys is a breeze, but keeping the good ones is the hard part.
Wink, wink. Get it?
Yeah, and then this other girl walks up and she's like, Wallace, are we still on for our date after the game? And he's like, yeah, we are. And I'm like...
And it's like this ha-ha moment.
Where Veronica's like, yeah, if I could control him, I would.
And even Jackie's like, well played. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
It all read super weird to me.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely... Well, I think it's because we are very emotional people.
Mm.
We could never be in a polyamorous relationship. We could never be in anything where we had to share each other.
Uh-huh.
Because we operate more under the, like, this is a bond is like a contract and you can't violate the contract. And their contract is very different.
Right.
And a lot of people are like that. And for the longest time, I never understood.
You think Jackie's just okay? Like,
I think she's
okay,
like, yeah, I guess
we'll
like
be friends?
date who you want. And then like maybe we can try dating after.
Yeah.
Also, like, girls are taught that, like, you know, it's okay for guys to play the field. Like, they have to pick you. But
totally.
like,
but if you do, you're a hussy.
That's what everyone calls me. Emily the hussy.
Emily Hussy Bruce.
Hussy the husky. So the little fluffy dog. Oh, that'd be cute.
Oh, that'd be very cute.
I'm gonna name my dog all things that I've been called derogatory terms.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's
Hussy. You get inside.
You too, whore.
Too smart for your own good. Get over here. But yeah, so I guess, you know, Wallace, date who you want and like don't lead Jackie on. That's my rule for you.
Yeah, 100%. And we don't. That's I guess what I don't know what's happening. It's just like, yeah, because Jackie just goes, shucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Ha 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 ha.
We just do hijinks together. We're not romantically involved.
I mean, if I haven't slept with someone, I can't do hijinks.
I see. That's why the heists have gone down since we've been dating. Oh. Uh-oh. Egg on my face.
But, I mean, like, if anything, we'd be doing the heist now.
Yeah.
So why would they have gone down? We're running hijinks.
Extracurricular heist.
Oh. No, I'm a one heist kind of gal.
Okay,
one
good.
partner.
Right.
One heist.
One last job.
One last job. Are we going to die soon? Why can't we run more hijinks?
We're retiring to our island.
Oh, okay. That's
It's
fine.
the biggest heist of all the heists.
When we retire to our island?
Yeah, because then we have the money.
Well, are we moving to our Animal Crossing island? Because if so, I want to evict a couple of the cows.
Okay.
I like Vic, but I don't know about what's her name? Patty.
Petunia.
Patty. Anyway, so Wallace, date who you want, and then we cut to the dark. It's nighttime. We're at a biker scene. All the motorcycle engines go vroom vroom vroom.
Yep, as they do.
And Weevil confronts his boys, and his boys turn their backs on him.
Yep.
They're like, we're all selling drugs for the Fitzpatricks. And so Thumper's like, I'm not good at giving big speeches. So I'm just going to let them all beat you up because we saw you talking to Logan. So, like, we might be selling drugs, but, like, you're talking to the guy who killed Felix.
Right.
And
we're making money. And you...
Yeah, you wouldn't let us make money this way. And he's like, no, because the Fitzpatricks made Reaper disappear. Do you not remember him? He was me before me. Have fun being dead, Thumper.
Right. He's like, nope. Have fun being beat up without a motorcycle, Weevil.
Yeah, so they beat him up and they steal his motorcycle.
And put it in the ocean is what they're going to say they were going to do.
Yeah, which is just fucking weird.
Yeah, extremely.
And then we go to a party boy sees this boy in his underwear drinking champagne, dancing, which I mean, like, same, me too.
To jump around.
With two girls in his room who look wildly unenthused.
Yeah. I'd assumed, like, he had, like, paid for them to be there.
Oh, they looked young, and that's why I didn't assume that. But I guess,
gotcha.
I guess, you know, when all the high schoolers are played by people in their 20s, it's really hard to gauge the age in the room.
True. Yeah, that was my assumption.
That would make sense.
Because he's got, like, the briefcase full of money.
Yeah, I thought if anything they were just there because they you know, like, he was like, I'll buy you what you want.
Gotcha.
But you could be right. I don't know. They did not look like women of the evening.
What does that look like? Just kidding.
I don't know. I've never hired a woman of the evening.
I mean, either. What do they look like?
They look like people. They're people.
Okay.
They're just people. But so then he gets a knock at the door and he's like, must be room service. And he opens the door and it's Wallace's dad. And he's like flashing his badge and he's like, did you accept this big bag of money to stay quiet? And he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, shit. Oh, one thing actually in Weevil getting beat up. Thumper's like, yeah, don't go saying anything or else I'll release this video of you beating up Curly.
Oh, yeah, Curly Moran.
Mm-hmm. Which, that doesn't pay off this episode, but just a bookmark.
Yes. And Veronica goes to the pep rally. It's our next scene.
Yep.
She's like, and Wallace is like, you came. And she's like, yeah, I heard, that this mattered to people. And she's like, I heard your dad found the kid from White Castle. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Harold.
Then I guess it was Harold, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Wallace has Uncle Monty's phone still and it rings and he answers and it's Uncle Monty and Uncle Monty's like, how do I make this go away? What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. And Wallace sasses him.
Yep. Hangs up on him.
Yeah. And then Veronica goes to the pep rally. She comes home. She's like, Dad, we won. Wallace Fennell scored 18 baskets and 22 assists or like some giant ass number for a high school basketball game.
100%. It's like he's in college.
And he's like, at the same time, Keith had been listening to the tapes, and we find out that Gia had said that her dad knew Curly because Curly was the only one who could fix her Fiat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a 2005 Fiat looked like?
Oh, less like round and like together. I think it's more like
square.
Yeah.
Interesting. And she's like, yeah, and then my dad told me not to get on the bus.
Well, you know how like the new minis versus the old minis, there's like more like smooth edges.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what they did to Fiats too.
Oh, I see. Okay, I accept. But she's like, yeah, my dad told me not to get on. And Veronica's like, sus. And then we turn on the TV because Keith had the TV on while he was listening to the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like my mother and he needs to be stimulated by multiple noises in the house at the same time.
Yes.
God, we visited my parents and I'm like, every fucking creature in this house is making a noise and that's how you stay focused.
Well, like he said, he's just like, you're out and about.
Yep.
I'm left all alone.
I'm here alone, so here's some noise. And I'm like, I can't do that. It drives me insane. But on the TV, we find out that Terrence Cook was arrested by Sheriff Lamb.
Dum, dum, dum.
Finn. Well.
Yeah.
How did I do?
Great.
Thank you.
Accurate.
Thank you.
To the point.
I think I rambled a little on this one.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Just a
Clocking in over 60 minutes here.
Just a little rambly. She got a little rambly.
Yeah, we both did.
Well,
rambly episode.
I just got important things to say, like, how did you sit in a movie theater? If you're a guy, where did you sit in your movie theater? Did you sit next to your friends or did you leave an empty seat in between you like a weirdo?
Don't be afraid to touch knees, fellas.
Yeah. Also, why?
Yeah.
What were you afraid of?
I mean, it might cave in. Homophobia.
Well, I also think part of it, one of them was a bigger dude, so I do think it was space, like having leg space. But then why the fuck did I have to sit next to you? Can't I sit one seat over?
No, I can't sit next to Colin.
Exactly. It was strange. But, what do I know?
Right. So we'll see what happens at movie theaters coming whenever we're allowed to go back. And next episode, what happens to Terrence?
Yes. Very excited.
Mr. Cook.
Also,
it was the cook.
The budding romance between Weevil and Logan that we don't get, but I wish we got.
Right.
I'm going to write a fan fiction about that.
There you go. Yeah, we'll post it.
Find it on butreallythough.com.
Medium.
Oh, yeah. I could do it on Medium.
Yeah.
I bet there's a subsect of Veronica Mars people on Medium.
Yeah, at least posting. I don't know about /fic. I don't know where you post /fic.
I don't know either. But shall we plug?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't remember the word for plug.
Yeah.
It was empty.
You got it.
You can find me at butreallythough.com. BUTREALLY. Spelling really is really hard today. THO is the though. That's the important part. That's why we were spelling is THO is the though. If you want to read my blog post where I haven't posted any fan fiction yet, but who knows what the future may bring.
See what happens.
It's usually free life and career coaching content and some fun stuff, some things that keep you entertained in quarantine. You can go to butreallythough.com/blog. You can also find me on YouTube at butreallythough. You can find this podcast on YouTube.
You can.
At
Life on Mars.
Life on Mars. Okay. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't like the
Mars Rewatch.
Yeah. And you can find me on Instagram at BTRLYTHO.
And you can also find our other podcast, But Really Though, on all podcast platforms. Goes up every Wednesday. History Didn't Learn in School, Conspiracy or Theory.
Urban myths, tall tales, and some...
Obfuscated Truths, I think is how I described it the last one.
I like that.
Yep, that
Great
goes.
word.
Yeah, thank you. You can find that on all podcast platforms and on Twitter at But Really Though Pod. And then you can find this podcast on Twitter and Facebook at Mars Rewatch, and find me on Twitter at Pyleburton, Pyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Stay toasted, Marshall.